Yo guys, we're back with the video. Upon a great request, 2 topics selected by you through the polls that we posted on Instagram last week. So first topic is gonna be analyzed by Evo, is gonna be design a training program, how to design a training program. And the second one, which is gonna be exposed by me, is gonna be what is the right or the most optimal protein intake in order to elicit the greater muscle hypertrophy adaptation.
So guys, designing a program is based on a few variables that can affect what we design and how we design it. First priority should be our goal, so whatever we aim in the gym, or just as an overall, so if you want to lose weight, if you want to gain muscle, whatever it is, this is our first priority and how we should design the program. Second comes experience.
Where am I laughing?
No idea. Experience is the second.
Have you ever seen you with a cat, by the way? Okay, it's around. Okay.
The second one is experience, is mainly for exercise selection. So technique on compound movements for untrained individuals might be not optimal. They might not have enough strength to perform these exercises as well. So what I would suggest for untrained individuals would be resistance machines, biaxial isolation exercises, whatever they are, but focus on the resistance machines first. Don't integrate the compound, the main lifts yet, for at least the first 2 or 3 months in your workout. This way your CNS adapts, so your body recruits muscle fibers easier than it used to be before you started working out. I like that one better. And also, isolation exercises might be better. No, resistance machines and isolation in general will be better for untrained.
Saying the isolation exercises are better. I don't agree with it.
Because it's to avoid injury mainly, and to get mainly to get the individual used to being resistance trained. If experienced, obviously, what I would do is I would pay more attention to my weaker muscle groups. So let's say my calves are not as good. So I'll design a program or 8, 10, whatever week space that I'm gonna implement more volume or frequency or intensity, whatever, on the calves, and I'm gonna reduce these variables on the muscle groups that are actually better, such as the quads or whatever this is in your case. So moving on, volume is one of the 2 main variables that we're going to have a look at when it comes to designing a program. So volume is pretty much the sets per muscle group per week that you perform for the muscle group. So let's say I do chest 2 sessions a week, each session I have 10 sets, and in total it's 20 sets per muscle group per week. So what the current literature suggests is more than 10, especially for untrained individuals, starting off from 9 or 10 and moving on upwards, will be producing enough stimuli for you to kind of, gain muscle. Obviously, the more trained you are, the number increases, so you have to go up to like 20, 25, even 30 sets per muscle group per week, as long as you can recover from them. Although number of sets cannot stay the same for prolonged periods of time, mainly because there's so many variables that can affect how much volume we can take. These variables include stress, nutrition, sleep. So let's say I have an exam month.
What if you take steroids?
If you take steroids, you can get 40 sets per muscle group. This is good.
So for you, steroid people doesn't count.
I do like, yeah. So obviously if you're on steroids, you can do pretty much everything, it's still gonna work out. If I have exams in June, it's full month of exams, I'm gonna reduce my volume just because the stress will produce more inflammation, therefore my body's ability to recover will be reduced as well. So adjusting accordingly, purely based on your performance and overall feeling. So if I feel fatigued for most days, if I don't progress in the gym as well, this might be a sign that you need to reduce the overall volume that you do for either one muscle group or just in total for every muscle group, it doesn't matter. As you can see also on the graph here, which will be shown back, for week 1 you started like 10 to 12 sets, and then kind of progress until you reach 16 to 18, and this is where about everyone can recover from. So up to 20 sets is optimal for pretty much everyone. Obviously there are certain cases, but you know, just in general. Also another thing that is worth mentioning is intensity. So when you consider intensity, i.e. the weight used during a session, so load of 1 RM below 50% is considered suboptimal, even though you train to failure or whatever, in comparison to higher loads. So if I do 8% for most of my exercises in comparison to 50%, I'll gain more by doing 8%. So this is another thing for you to pay attention to.
So what is the recommended percentage range that you would stay?
I would
say
say
for hypertrophy.
For hypertrophy only, maybe 65 to 80, but this has to be adjusted accordingly as well. So not every exercise, it will be depending on whatever the exercise is, how you feel on that day. And soreness is also a factor. So if you have DOMS for most of the week, obviously this might have an effect on your performance overall. Okay, moving forward is the second variable, and it's frequency. So when it comes to hypertrophy or weight loss, frequency is pretty much how often a muscle group is trained per week, for example 2-3 times. What literature suggests so far is 2 times per week is superior to 1, and then more than 2 times is yet to be determined if it's superior or not in comparison to 2 times per week. So for example, if I do a full body split, which trains my muscle groups 2 times per week in comparison to broad split, which trains, you know, chest on Monday, back on Tuesday, whatever, it will be more optimal for me to do the full body split in terms of muscle gain, because if you train your muscles just once a week, this might, even though volume is equated with 2 1 times, it will not be enough to keep the protein synthesis going. So this is a pushback when it comes to, you know, unless you're on steroids, you're not going to gain as much muscle. For instance, as it says, chest session on Monday and on Thursday is better than just chest session on Monday. And as you can see on the graph here, bench 1 RM, squat 1 RM, row 1 RM, biceps thickness, triceps thickness, and quad thickness are either the same or enhanced when it comes to full body split in comparison to the broad split. So this is another thing for you to keep in mind as well.
So moving on to the second part, now it's about time to talk about protein and the recommended quantity of protein in order to stimulate muscle hypertrophy at its best. First, we're going to talk about the protein qualities too, and the main one are the biological value of the protein source and the protein digestibility corrected amino acid score. Again, the protein source. You want to aim at the highest number of this, and the biological value actually explain how that protein source, once consumed, can affect the MPS, or muscle protein synthesis. And instead, the PDCAS, which is the protein digestibility corrected amino acid score, represent the amino acid profile, the essential amino acid profile of the protein source you're consuming. So the maximum score for this value is 1, and recommended for the biological value is around 100, okay? Talking about the type of protein that you can have, you consume, you can have either animal source of protein, which are recommended for the high BV and the PDCAS, or you can, if you're vegan or lactose intolerant, whatever, you can use consume soy protein, which has a BV value of 77, which is not bad, and a PDCAS of 1, okay?
Basically, there is a difference between animal and plant-based protein, and to a certain degree, it's better to consume animal.
Because, like, for example, whey protein has a BV value, biological value of 104, compared to the soy protein that has 74.
And that's the highest from plant-based protein as well.
It's kind of like the king of that. Consider that how much better whey protein can stimulate MPS. So try to consume whey protein if you can, and like prefer it over soy protein or vegetable.
That's not a promotion, by the way. Or something?
We're not against veganism. You know, if you're vegan, you can do your stuff and everything. But for optimal muscle hypertrophy adaptation, then it's better. As far as the protein consumption goes, according to Gropper et al. 2009, the recommended quantity of protein to consume for maximal muscle hypertrophy adaptation is from 1.2 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Ideally, you want to stay towards the higher end of the spectrum if you are in a calorie deficit state, you're losing weight. Otherwise, you can stay even towards the mid to low end of the spectrum, so around 1.5, 1.4 if you're gaining weight.
With some recent research suggesting for some individual cases, but this preferably more trained individuals, they can get up to 2.5 grams per gram, and this is their optimal. So this is quite a significant difference in comparison to 1.6, for example. So if you're consuming less than 2 grams per kilogram, yes, it's good. Is it optimal? I wouldn't say so. But
stay around the sweet spot. Let's say 1.8, 2.2.
And honestly, the more it is, the better. You don't have any side effects from protein, apart from obviously calories. And if you're on a strict diet, then you need to pay attention to that. But otherwise, it's just, you know.
Ensure to consume enough of the other macronutrients too, you know, for hormonal levels as far as the fat goes, and thyroid function for the carbs, and energy level for the carbs. But yeah, protein,
Balance
and even
diet.
yeah, as you said, the thermal food of protein like is
Balance
desired.
diet.
So
Balanced diet is good.
another important aspect that we have to talk about is the leucine. So leucine is an essential amino acid and is either responsible for muscle protein synthesis, to spike muscle protein synthesis. In this case, it's recommended to consume 3 to 4 grams of leucine in order to efficiently and properly stimulate muscle protein synthesis, MPS.
Okay.
We want to talk about protein timing instead. So what we should say about protein timing: how often should you consume your protein in order to stimulate muscle hypertrophy at the best? According to research, especially Nabukuni et al. 2005, is recommended to consume a protein source every 3 to 5 hours, and after workouts is even recommended and advisable to consume a protein source along with a fast-acting carbohydrate such as a dextrose, glucose, or maltodextrin in order to spike, yes, MPS, but at the same time raise the insulin level. This combination is going to allow you to stimulate the MPS at its best for the anabolic effect of insulin and the necessary amount of protein consumed.
You don't have to consume it straight after the workout. That's not the bro science.
Yeah, don't bring your banana and protein shake with you. If you can, then do it, which is better. But
there's not going to be any negative effect of you consuming it 2 or 3 hours after you've done the workout, and you consume nothing in the meantime. So
not a big deal with that.
It's not like you're going to lose or you gain so far.
So to finish everything up,
designing a program, a lot of variables. Adjusting the program accordingly throughout the different phases.
Consult a person that is qualified to do so.
Yeah.
If you have a critical mindset, if you're ready, you can go online and research and try to experiment yourself. But especially when it comes with form, that's why he recommended to do like isolated movement. When it comes with form, you want to be supervised, because the last thing you want to do now, it's just get injured.
Even if you don't injure yourself right now, but by doing it repetitively, it's just, doing it not correct might have a negative impact in the long term. So,
With protein instead, once again, to wrap it up, everything, like sum everything up, 1.8 to 2.2, sweet spot, 3 to 5 grams of leucine per meal and snack to stimulate the protein synthesis, and ideally consume your protein source every 3 to 5 hours, okay? Write in your notes, and I hope, guys, that this content has been really useful and informative to you as you requested. And for any other information, any other fitness topic, anything related to fitness, don't hesitate to drop us a message or just even comment this video, share with your friend, someone that you think can be relevant and can relate to this, and Catch you next time.